Alright, what's Gucci everybody again? It's Buzo Builds and we're back making this Tic Tac Toe game. At the moment we can, start the game up, which is, some progress. And we can also click on stuff and we get stuff. So that's all cool, but Tic Tac Toes have X and O's. So all I see is X's and we're gonna fix that. Alright, so let's scroll up here into our little parameter stuff, variable stuff. My goal is to basically make a variable string that both represents the turn and the basically figurine that the player uses. So let me make a string called turn. Oops, didn't spell that right. Okay, here, string turn. And I'm just gonna start it off as it equaling X. Like, let's just start it off as, I know it's a bit discriminatory, but sometimes the O start first, but it's whatever. Now, anyways, basically the game gets set it up and then we wait for input. So we're assuming that it's X's turn first, but this thing is variable to change. So instead of just putting in that string literal, we want to put in turn. Game.turn, because static method. But yeah, so we're just gonna replace all of this with game.turn. So anytime this basically line of code is called, like this process input, instead of putting in X all the time, depending on whatever the turn string is on, that's what it's gonna put. Game.turn. 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 This is kind of annoying. Game.turn. Game.turn. Alright, that's all Gucci and all. So, oops. So basically, after we receive the input, we process it and we put it in the grid. Now, after we basically process the input, it would make sense for us to check if there's a winner at the moment, because if somebody won, then when we are about to paint the screen, we want to show if somebody won or not. So I'm just coming here, check for winner. This is basically code we're going to implement later. But after checking the winner, then we want to redraw the stuff, right? And now, after redrawing, we want to change the turn, because now it's somebody else's turn. Turn, right? So change the turn, and basically, okay, let me fix that. That looks disgusting. Change turn, right? So basically what we're gonna do is say that game.turn, like what we want to do is, if the turn is currently on X and we want to change the turn, we want it to go on O. If it's currently on O and we want to change the turn, we want it to go on X. So it's just a simple, easy switcher dasher. So there's kind of this simple ternary one-line operation that kind of encapsulates what we're trying to do. So we're going to use that. So game.turn is going to equal X dot equals. So X, strings in Java are objects. So what the flibber jabber? Game.turn. So strings on Java are, I forgot to put equals. Equals. Is it lowercase e? Oh geez. I see. Okay, yeah. So basically we're gonna check if does this X dot equals, is it what this thing is? Basically, is the game turn X? Now if the game turn is X, then we want to return string O. The way we do this is by using this question mark, and we say return string O. Now if it's not, then we want to return string X, basically. So if the current game turn is not O, we're returning X, so it should be X's turn now. So that basically does the whole switching up stuff for you. Anytime we reach this line, it basically is like a light switch. So that's all cool and dandy, but there's still some more things we need to do, such as the actual drawing the circle on the screen. So we can make a function called public void draw O, which is going to be similar, and we're going to take in also int position, int x, int y, and graphics. Bro, what is good with my typing today? Jeez. So yeah, we're going to take in these properties. It's going to help us draw the circle oval. So basically the graphics 2D object has this method called draw oval. And what draw oval does is it basically tells you to give it a square, which kind of is cool because we're kind of dealing with squares. It tells you to give you a square as you're going to make a circle that basically gets inscribed in the square in a manner where like is the biggest circle you can have in the square. So that's cool. It's like one of those trying to calculate the area of a circle using a square type stuff and whatever. But that's basically what's going on. So the x and y coordinates, the first two ones are basically the top left of the square. So in our case, it's going to be x times 133 and y times 133. And then these last two coordinates are basically the width and the length of the square. So that's also going to be 133 and 133. So yeah, basically, I mean, we didn't really need a whole function for it, but since we already did it for draw x, we might as well. So yeah, so this basically draws a circle in the position of inside a square that has that position and size. So with that said, we want to go ahead and modify our drawing function, the function that draws everything in the first place. So we were checking for each grid cell if it's x, then yeah. Now we want to check if it's circle, because circle is as important as the x, so if it equals O, then as in I messed up. If it equals O, then we want to say draw O x, y, g2. And that should allow us to both draw circles and x's. Don't break on me. Okay, so we're looking at the output now. There's nothing there. I write it, I click, and I get an X. That's cool. I click here, I get an O. Ooh, cool. And also you see in the print screen, they're printing out the stuff. So I can click X, O, X, and then keep switching O. But we seem to have a bug. Well, I mean, can you call it a bug because we didn't program against it? But I mean, Tic Tac Toe, you can't just like overwrite somebody's thing. So, but in this one you can. But really, that's not really too hard to fix. We can just go up to wherever they set the game turn. And we basically just want to check if this place already isn't null. Like if it's already not null, then don't do anything. But if it is null, then yeah, then do what you need to do. So All right, so let's go ahead and basically fix that bug. So basically, after we basically calculate, okay, where our mouse is clicking on, and we have the grid cell that we may potentially change, we just want to check every time before we change it if game.grid 0. If it's null, then we want to go ahead and change it. So it's the same concept for all 9 of these squares. If okay, and we're back. I think I probably sped through that, or you guys probably just saw me awkwardly typing in whatever. Anyways, if I didn't make any bracket mistakes, this should work. So let's play. Hey, I'm so hungry, and we have errors, which means I made a bracket mistake. Let's see, this closes this, this closes this, this closes this. Right, okay. This is the end of the game loop, as it should be. Right. But yeah, it's not. So what is that? Oh, I don't even know. Let's have like another thing. Yeah, so game state equals 2. Then we do all that. Then we draw. Okay. I guess. Okay, so let's see how that works. So we play. Nothing happens. I click X, click O, I click here, and it doesn't change because it's not supposed to change. I click here, I got O. But there is a thing though. There's also another bug I just thought of. So right now it's supposed to be X's turn. Now X is like, I'm gonna click here like a douchebag. So you can't change it. But now it's O's turn. So I click here, it's gonna be O again. So you could be like, okay, well, no turn should happen. No turn should happen. Or you can just punish the guy for trying to cheat. So but I would probably have to, we would probably have to make, the battery's gonna die soon. We're probably gonna have to make changes, additions to this whole process input thing again. Alright, so I was thinking, instead of, at least in this case, we're making a game state for an error of the turn, and instead we make the steps after the process input basically another state, and if this state fails to go to the next state, then that stuff won't run, meaning that's going to be the same turn again. So There's gonna be another bunch of typing code, but whatever. So if this happens, then game.GameState is going to equal 3. And it's gonna be the same code for all of this, so I'm just gonna copy it. Okay. So yeah, basically the game's supposed to go to state 3 when that happens, when like a valid turn has been made. So this stuff is supposed to happen if game.GameState. This stuff is supposed to happen if valid inputs happen. If valid inputs. Game state was 3. This is bolts just rendering, another way of rendering. Then we change the turn. Check for winner, render, change the turn. If we need to. Now, if it's still 2, then we go back up here. Right, we go back, we start the loop again. And we should actually change the input to 1. Yeah, change it back to 1 so we can actually start to wait for the stuff again. So we can do that here. Where is that? Yep, so else game.GameState equals 1. Turn it back. So wait, what was that? What was that saying that people keep saying? Run that stuff back. Yeah. So run that stuff back. You put some invalid input, silly OU, and let's see if that works. Okay, so we got an X, but now I try to click X again, it doesn't work. It's just as it should. I should be O, I click here, I'm a O, yes, I click here again. 12%, jeez. Anyway, so, I forget, I just clicked here. Okay, I'm supposed to be something. X, all right, I'm supposed to be O. Click here, I keep clicking, keep clicking. Still an O. I click, I'm supposed to be X. Yeah, so this stuff works marvelously. So, and I mean, like literally, this is how many X and O's you should have, assuming that X starts first in a Tic Tac Toe board when you're taking turns. So that's cool. We fixed those bugs that seem kind of minor but would have affected the game. So now the main goal, or the next big step, is to check for a winner every time a turn is made. And if there's a winner, you say, oh, winner, whatever. Like in this case, we should have a winner. And so that's not really too bad to do either. And it kind of, I'll get to that. I don't want to spoil anything. So yeah, keep it Gucci. And as the nerds say, I'm signing off. I'm signing off, guys.